What up, brawlers? Welcome back to Throwin Hands yet again. Another great episode. We got Breck here, and we also got his friend Zach. How are you two doing?
Doing good.
Not too bad.
All right, so I don't know, due to time constraints, we're going to go over the main event and then all the crazy events that have been made in the past 24, 48, or however many hours. So main event here, Derek Brunson versus Kevin Holland. Derek Brunson coming off a nice win over the young upstart Edmund Shabazian, and then you got Kevin Holland coming off a crazy knockout against Jacare Souza. We're going to start with Zach here. What's your thoughts on this matchup?
I'm definitely a fan of Kevin Holland. He's been on the come up for a lot of time now. Derek Brunson definitely had a good knockout of Shabazian, but Kevin Holland's grappling and submission game, I definitely think could give him the edge in this fight.
And what about you, Breck?
Yeah, I echo a lot of what Zach said. Holland is a different animal in 2020 off the five wins. And even though Brunson got a win over Shabazian, I just like Holland too much.
Yeah, I like Holland in this one. I think Holland woke up feeling dangerous in 2020, I think.
Oh, I know, Mikey.
And I think that I don't see Derek Brunson's getting older. Kevin Holland's only getting better. So this is exciting to see. All right, predictions. I'm going Kevin Holland knockout. What do you have to say? Excuse me. What do you have to say, Zach?
I would probably go Kevin Holland by unanimous decision.
All right, Breck?
I'll agree. Unanimous decision.
All right. So that is that's gonna do it for our preview of this one. We're gonna do a full review.
Hold on, Jacob. Who do you like in Riddell Gillespie?
Gillespie.
I think he bounces back too. Yeah.
What about you, Zach?
I definitely go with Gillespie too. He's probably one of the most least talked about guys for the talent that he has.
Yes, especially when it comes to grappling, I think.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so we have much to discuss when it comes to the world of matchups. We got a lot. So first off, we got to talk about what is it? 261.
Oh yeah.
Woo. Dana White, I guess he woke up feeling dangerous. We got Usman versus Masvidal as the headliner, which is garbage, I think. And then we got Shevchenko, Andrade, and Zhang versus Nami Yunus at 261 to round it out with the championship bout. And you also got Jimmy Crute and Anthony Smith on this one. Full crowd, Jacksonville, Florida. First off, I'm not surprised about the full crowd. Thinking about it, nothing much will change in Florida. They've been doing this crap for months, so I don't see it. So I don't see much changing. Zach, what are your thoughts on this card?
Honestly, I'm kind of on the same wavelength as you. I hate the fact that they're running Jorge back. Sure, he was coming off 6 days in his last fight and put up a decent performance, but I do think that Colby Covington and Usman are just in a different wavelength and honestly a different level in that division. No one else has really touched either of them. And the Colby fight, a lot of people don't know, he was up against Usman before getting knocked out on the cards. So he's definitely deserving of the winner of this matchup.
Yeah, I agree with you there to an extent. And I just, we have, what's his face, Leon Edwards saying he deserved the title shot or whatnot, which I think is ridiculous. And then, I don't know, Colby Covington, he should be next, I think, unless he and Wonderboy Thompson want to settle their beef that they've been having. Breck, what are your thoughts on this card?
I agree with a lot of what Zach said, but I think the other two fights are more interesting. I think Zhang Weili Rose is an interesting one, and who's the other?
Shevchenko Andrade.
Shevchenko Andrade. That's going to be a good fight. I just think Shevchenko's too good for Andrade. It's a really good card, though. It's a good card.
Yeah, I think Shevchenko's just too good for anybody. All right, two matchups that have been made. We're gonna go from least exciting to most exciting. Jack Hermanson versus Edmund Shabazian. That's intriguing. I like that one a lot personally. I think two guys that can get back into it, both coming off of losses. I think Shabazian should try to find something else other than Taverdian as a camp, because I don't exactly trust Taverdian. But what were your thoughts on this matchup, Breck?
It's not a good fight for Shabazian after a loss like that. This is a horrendous fight for him. I fear for his jiu-jitsu better be good, because Jack Hermanson is going to look to submit him.
Heel hook.
Yeah, heel hook. It's not a good matchup on your first fight back after a loss.
And what about you, Zach? Do you have any thoughts on that?
Yeah, I mean, literally, Hermansson's defeat of Kevin Gastelum, first round submission, a guy who's definitely hung around on people like Israel Adesanya in this division. For Edmund, I just don't really get why you would want to accept this fight coming off a loss. Like, he's still extremely young for the division and honestly the sport, but just throwing a lot of guys at you are heavy hitters. And honestly, like, you're not going to rise up into the top 15 if you're going to be taking on guys like this.
Yeah, I agree with you there. I think that's just a super tough task, I think. So another matchup. What's his face? Paulo Costa drank too much wine and had to drop out. But we got the matchup we wanted for years. We got what's his face? Kelvin Gastelum stepping in for Paulo Costa. I'm excited. I think Bobby Knuckles Gastelum's going to be an incredible fight. And I think if Robbie wins, he gets the title shot. But I think if Gastelum wins, the winner of Vettori Till gets the title shot. I think that clears up a lot more things. Zach, what do you think?
Yeah, I definitely like how you brought up the Till fight versus Vettori, because that's been in the works for a while now. And no traction was really made on until these past couple months. But yeah, this is definitely going to be a great fight. I probably would go with Bobby Knuckles. His last fight against Darren Till, even though it did go to decision, he kind of controlled the pace to control everything about the fight. So I don't see Whitaker really losing this one unless he gets hit with a wild shot.
And what about you, Breck?
It's tough. The Till Vettori winner, I think, gets in a title shot before the Rob Gastelum winner. Even though if Rob wins, he's on like a 4-fight win streak after that.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know if like Dana has a vendetta against Robert. He always is like out of the title picture. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
When they ask Dana, he's always like, "We're looking at somebody else."
I think that's because he held up the division for so long.
He did hold up the division for a little bit. Those UL fights took a lot out of him. But
I love you.
I love you.
I love you, Mike.
It's interesting. The winners, I don't know. I think Till Vettori winner gets the title shot. But I like Bobby Knuckles in that.
Marvin Vettori. I can't wait. I hope Darren Till gets the press that he deserves. But on to a main event that's just been made. Font versus Garbrandt. This is going to be awesome. It'll be interesting to see how Cody Garbrandt returns after such a horrendous experience with the COVID-19 rather. I think this is interesting. I think with the way the rankings are, this could clear up some maybe the winner of this could contend for the next number one contendership. I don't know. It's a really interesting prospect. What do you think, Zach?
Yeah, for me, this is one that Cody Garbrandt definitely has to win from all his losses. Well, I shouldn't say losses because it was obvious at the time that TJ Dillashaw was on EPO, but he came off 3 losses in a row. This is one that Cody definitely needs to get back to the belt, which he ultimately wants to do. If he loses here, though, and Font's no joke, he could definitely hit honestly with the best of them. Cody Garbrandt has to win this fight. If he doesn't, he's going to slip in the rankings. I believe he's 4 right now, but that division is pretty stacked, so it's going to be hard to rise back up.
What about you, Breck? What do you think?
Yeah, Garbrandt needs the win more than Rob Font, but like Zach said, the division is a little muddy right now. I mean, they announced Sandhagen's fighting Dillashaw in May, I think. But I think you're right, Jacob. I think this is like a second contender shot, like you said, like the contender to the next contender shot. But I don't know how you feel. I'm like Rob Font hits super hard.
Yeah.
And
I mean, they both hit pretty hard.
They both hit hard. Sorry about that.
No, you're fine.
It's interesting. I don't know. It's too early for me to pick a winner.
I don't think that fight's getting out of the second round, to be honest. They both like to, Garbrandt and Font both like to swing leather a lot. And speaking of Corey Sandhagen, him and TJ Dillashaw, that's another. Dillashaw's going to a buzzsaw or a wood chip or whatever the analogy is, because that's going to be bad, I think, for Dillashaw, because Corey Sandhagen's on a different level. When I think I would put him up there with Sterling and Jan as the best in this division. It's exciting stuff. What do you think, Zach?
Yeah, I feel bad. I feel like Corey Sandhagen's been disrespected after that loss to Sterling. I mean, that was just an unlucky, series of events. He was caught on his back. But this is honestly shocking after years hiatus. Well, he was also suspended, that TJ Dillashaw immediately gets probably a future champion in that division. So I want to see what TJ looks like, but being away from the fight game for years, that definitely has to take something away from you.
And what do you think, Breck?
Yeah, I'm not liking Dillashaw's chances in this one. You look at the history of supposed steroid guys in the UFC. You look at TRT Vitor, and then once he's off the TRT, how much worse he looks. And I just wonder if we're going to see the same with Dillashaw. Maybe not as fast, doesn't have the cardio that he once did. So I like this one.
Here's my thing with Dillashaw. I think that he got an EPO to make the weight cut easier down to 125. So I don't really think he was on EPO that much at 135. Maybe he was, maybe he wasn't. But part of the reason he was on EPO was for an easier cut down to 125. Breck, you got to fill me in, man. What's going on?
I'm sorry, there's a bunch of dogs running around. It's a little much.
No, you're right.
You're all right. You're all right.
His last the way that he looked in his fights just to make the weight, and I understand that's a hard drop. He just didn't look like someone who should be alive. He honestly looked like so unhealthy.
That's what EPO does, man.
Yeah.
It sends more oxygen to your muscles so you don't.
Yeah. It increases your red blood cell count, if I'm correct.
Yeah.
But apparently you have to work the treadmill or your Peloton at 3 a.m. because you get blood clots easily.
Yeah. Speaking of weight cuts, did you see that Stolyarenko weight cut?
Yeah.
That was bad.
That was really bad.
I think they got to add more weight classes to the women's division because, I'm thinking they've been adding some more weight classes. I believe in that, but especially for those, there should be an atom weight for women, 155 maybe.
I hate the argument too that it dilutes I don't think the authenticity or the value of the belts. I still think no matter how many belts there are, it's always going to be special to have it at something. And you'll honestly see more guys who hold belts simultaneously.
Yeah. It's harder. I'm just speaking scientific fact. I'm not misogynist or anything, but it's harder for women to cut weight because they tend to have more body fat, and it's easier to expel water from muscle than it is body fat. So I think more weight classes at the women's level, at 120, 110, more intermediate weight classes would really help out a lot for these women. So
even then though, if you look at that last fight with Adasanja, and middleweight to light heavyweight is probably, believe it is the biggest jump for a weight class. He just honestly, I'm sure Blachowicz had at least 20 pounds on him, if not more, which you just saw throughout the fight. He was working him, but he was in with some punches too. It wasn't just a ground game.
Yeah. So yeah, there's lots to discuss there. We need to fix weight cutting. We got to fix gloves. We got to fix how a title changes hands after DQ. We got to fix a lot of stuff, boys. But one last thing to talk about. Khabib Nurmagomedov. Dana White gave up, finally. Should have given up months ago because we all knew Khabib was retired. But we have Do Bronx versus quite possibly the least deserving title challenger in UFC history since Dan Henderson when he fought Michael Bisping. It's Michael Chandler versus Do Bronx for the lightweight title. I don't get why it's not Justin Gaethje. I think that's absurd. But we'll start with Breck. What do you think of this one, man?
I'm happy they finally got Khabib. I'm happy that's all over. It's a little ridiculous. Dana's just trying to string it along. But Do Bronx versus Chandler. I mean, it's tough. The Chandler became a pretty big overnight star after that Dan Hooker KO. So you could see why they'd give it to him. But yeah, it should be Poirier Do Bronx for the title.
Well,
Poirier wants the money fight.
Yeah, he wants the money fight, but I think it should be Gaethje Do Bronx, in my opinion.
Yeah, you could argue that too. I mean, Gaethje before, I know he got submitted, but he's doing well on the feet.
Yeah. Now the question is, where does Kevin Lee fit into all of this?
Oh, that's a really good question.
What do you think, Zach?
I totally agree with you. Michael Chandler is a guy. If you look at him in the ring, he is actually a great fighter. I don't want to, knock his name or ever because he didn't, he came from Bellator, I believe, or Cage Champions. Which one was it?
Bellator.
Yeah. But Dan Hooker, I mean, a good fighter as well. Definitely passed what if he had a prime, definitely passed it. I do like how they finally gave Charles a shot, but I agree Justin Gaethje should have been the guy. I don't know why they didn't do it. I don't know what Dana didn't see, but he looked good in the Khabib fight. So
yeah, now if Dana wanted to give us what we wanted, it should have been Gaethje Chandler for the title, because I mean, wouldn't you want to watch that fight? Come on, that's just pure violence.
Yeah, of course. A lot of guys don't even know who Charles Oliveira is, honestly.
Yeah.
Kind of a guy like Leon Edwards, like top 3, but a lot of people who aren't very, very into UFC cannot name them. I agree, though. I honestly think I hope Chandler gets worked in this fight to kind of put his value back because it's super inflated right now.
Yeah, I agree. I think, they did do a promo about him raising a black child in America, which that was quite possibly the dumbest thing the UFC's done.
Yeah, it was a little strange they didn't ask, like a black person to do, like, what were they think? What were they thinking? Why would they have a white guy do a Black History Month promo? Oh, it was so bad.
Oh, the UFC's had some questionable promotional things this year. The Eminem music video.
Yeah, it was bad.
That was it's all so bad. But this is this is 262, I think. Houston, Texas, baby. Full crowd at the Toyota Center. We're getting crowds back. Is it stupid? Probably. But am I excited? Absolutely. What do you guys think of full crowds before we head off here? We'll start with Breck.
I'm, 50%, 100%. I think it's okay. You're gonna have to get, probably tested before you go. You know what I mean? You're probably gonna have to show a negative test before you go. So I don't see why, if people are negative, let it be a full house.
Yeah. What do you think, Zach?
I was definitely at first not a fan of Fight Island because I just felt like the environment and the atmosphere of fight is definitely built upon the crowd, but they did a pretty good job with it, I think. I am definitely happier the fact that we're getting crowds back.
Yeah.
Great example is Adasanja versus Jon Jones. They said they wouldn't want that fight to happen without a crowd because sometimes some of these fights need an electrifying crowd.
To be honest, I don't really want to see Adesanya Jones because what Blachowicz did to Adesanya will be 10 times worse with heavyweight Jon Jones.
Oh, yeah, that wouldn't be good.
That would be horrendous for Izzy, yeah.
But heavyweight Jon Jones, though, who's excited? I am.
Finally.
Dude, Ngannou is going to beat him.
No, he won't.
He is, though, bro.
People forget how good Jon Jones is.
Dude, Ngannou is the antithesis of technique.
Yeah, but, like, Dominic Reyes... like almost beat Jon Jones.
But hold on. If you're Jon Jones, you fought Rashad Evans, you fought Rampage, you fought Lyoto, you fought Hua. Is Dominic Reyes going to be exciting to you? No, it's not.
I mean, no. You still have to go out there and win the belt, which he barely did in that fight,
Yeah,
he definitely won the championship rounds.
But Zach, what's more appealing, Stipe or Dominic Reyes?
Oh, Stipe.
Of course, Stiopic.
Yeah, again, a guy who's 40 plus and looks amazing. His last DC fight, he had some of the best hands I've ever seen in his career.
Yeah,
so I hope he does the same thing with Ngannou.
Yeah, I hope he just takes Ngannou. I watched that Ngannou Stipe fight yesterday, I think. That was brutal to watch, man. That looked so exhausting on Ngannou's part because Stipe was just pushing him down. Like that looked like it sucked.
Yeah, you put like a Colby Covington kind of pace on him, and especially with these heavyweight guys. They don't really. A lot of them, only like the very good ones. A lot of those guys are usually tapped after a round and a half if they're swinging with someone.
Yeah, I can't wait for next. And everybody's overlooking Volkanovsky Ortega. That's a good fight.
Yeah, it's a great fight. Ortega looked unbelievable against the Korean Zombie. He looked different. Looks like his defensive boxing got better since Holloway destroyed him. But
yeah.
Holloway's one of the best strikers.
Holloway's one of the best. I think the winner's obviously going to get Max. But it's interesting. I think Volkanovski is just too good on the,
Yeah.
He's too strong.
And then when's Yair and Zabit going to fight? Because
never.
I hope. I want them to.
I mean, Yair, isn't he like suspended for 6 months still?
Yeah, but his suspension's almost over.
Yeah, but
He has to stop.
he'll
doing
probably
what he's doing.
fight. Yeah, he'll probably fight in like the fall if you had to guess. Yeah.
Yeah.
He'll, like get some time away from all.
Josh
that.
Emmett's hitting mitts again too. So,
Mhm.
dude, gosh, this is a great time for the sport, man.
There's no weak divisions. There's excitement in every division.
I
which
mean,
definitely
some
I've
people.
always been like,
Some people would argue light heavyweight, but it's so young. I mean,
getting
Rakic is 28, Prochazka's 25, Anthony Smith's only 32, Ankalaev's really young, Uzdemir's like 33. Like this is a young division when it comes to light
the
heavyweight.
British kid,
What'd you say?
the British kid, Tom Aspinall.
He's good.
Oh, and that's heavyweight.
then,
Yeah. Oh, Chris Dawkins.
Chris
Yeah.
Dawkins looked great in his last couple of fights.
You have Gone. You got Blades. You still got the Black Beast up there.
What a knockout he had.
Ugh.
That was career changing, honestly.
Yeah, I don't know if Blades ever is the same.
No.
Even Derek Lewis, dude. That was easily his best win of his entire career. And now he's honestly looking, maybe not a title shot, but definitely
Number one.
close.
Well, he wants to fight Gone.
Yeah. I just think if he really wants to hold the belt, if that's actually a goal of his, that you can't be going back down the ladder, especially after knocking out.
I think he should wait.
I think he should too.
You should wait. Yeah.
Like what? Let Steelpick and Gaio.
versus Jon Jones would be a really interesting fight. I know that's like.
That I think Derek Lewis would get killed.
I don't think so.
Yeah.
He just gets up from crazy.
Well, here's what's
I
gonna
love
happen.
that.
Jon Jones is gonna let Derek Lewis get close. He's just gonna hit him with oblique kicks and front leg side kicks, and he's just not gonna let Derek Lewis get into range.
Yeah, one punch.
Well, I bet you heavyweight Jon Jones could hit you with one punch and it's over.
I don't know. Looking pretty slow on those mitts, you know.
I mean,
Yes,
I get
get used to them.
he's got to get used to the weight, man. Jon Jones, 5 defenses. Mark my words, 5 defenses of the heavyweight title. 5. He's a young heavyweight. Think about it. He's 33.
Yeah, he is only 33. And that heavyweight division, you always see guys who are 35 plus, still working people. Look at Steve Barrett now.
Yeah.
Stipe's 39.
Oh,
Yeah.
God.
No,
He's
he's
gonna
38. He's 38. My
He's
bad.
coming to the end. You know, we're gonna.
Steelpick.
Yeah.
All right, that's all I got. Do you guys have anything? Any comments, queries, anything else you want to add? Any news?
Nothing. We covered most of it.
Yeah, we did our due diligence today. All right, that was good for a little pace together episode. Zach, thanks for coming on. Nice to have a third voice.
Yeah, it was a pleasure.
All right, we'll have you on another time. Breck, thanks for coming on. Even though
Yeah.
you were
A little late.
a little late. We're trying to piece things together here over at Throwin Hands LLC. Well, thank you guys for coming on. We'll see you next time.